Happy Thursday. Hopefully everyone's having a blessed day, because I certainly am. There was a lot of salt on Twitter today because the Supreme Court finally took a case on gun rights, and they ruled in the favor of gun rights. It is a big win for us Second Amendment people who like to exercise all of our amendments. I like to exercise my First Amendment and my Second Amendment. And I'm pretty sure there's a couple other amendments. Now, I do know that there's some other issues with the Supreme Court ruling about the Miranda rights. I'm not that familiar with that case, so I'm not going to comment on it. But the Supreme Court, according to the AP, expands gun rights with a nation divided. I don't think we're that divided. I think there's some certain issues that we are strongly divided, but I think majority of us are more united than divided. What? By the way, how long is this? All right, it shouldn't be too long because I want to get into some other articles too. A major expansion of gun rights after a series of mass shootings. Of course, gotta keep that in our fresh in our memory. Of course, the Supreme Court said Thursday that Americans have the right to carry firearms in public for self-defense, a ruling likely to lead to more people to legally arm. This decision came out of Congress and states debate gun control legislation. About one quarter of the U.S. population lives in states expected to be affected by the ruling, which struck down the New York gun law. The High Court, first major gun decision in more than a decade, split the court 6-3. Don't really care about the three, but I'm glad it had the majority. With the court, conservatives in the majority and the liberals in the dissent. Across the street from the court, lawmakers of the Capitol speed towards passage of gun legislation prompted by recent massacres in New York and California and New York and all that good stuff. Senators cleared the way for the measure, modest in scope, but still the most far reaching in decades. With the red flag laws and the boyfriend loophole closed. I'm not going to get into that for this video. Although Thursday underscored the nation's deep division over the issue, the sister of a 9-year-old girl that killed in a school shooting in Uvalde pleaded with the state lawmakers to pass gun legislation. The Republican controlled legislature has stripped away gun restrictions over the past decade. President Joe Biden said in a statement he was disappointed by the Supreme Court ruling as it contradicts both common sense and the Constitution. Well, guess what? I know you say that no amendment is absolute, so you need to do your part to amend the Constitution to see if all the states line up with your viewpoint. There is a process to make certain amendments not absolute, and you have yet to do that, Joe Biden, Mr. President. It does not, and also does not contradict the Constitution. It should be deeply troubling to us all. He urges states to pass new laws that call on Americans across the country to make their voices heard on gun safety. Lives are on the line. You're right, our lives are on the line when we cannot defend ourselves in the hopefully unlikely event that we get in a life threatening situation. Our lives are on the line, and you want to make it harder for us to defend ourselves. And I find that deeply, deeply concerning. I'm just going to just throw it out there. I'm a mostly on the Second Amendment. There could be some tweaks here and there. But however, I don't think you have to worry about legal gun owners. The decision struck down the New York law requiring people to demonstrate a particular need for carrying a gun in order to get a license to carry a gun in a concealed way in public. The justice said the requirements violates the Second Amendment's rights to keep and bear arms because there's the keep, which would be in the house or in a locker. To bear arms means that you're able to keep it on your person and be able to bear them if needed. Hopefully, they're not needed. Justice Clarence Thompson wrote the majority that not the conservative, but the Constitution protects an individual's right to carry a handgun for self-defense outside the home. That is a that right is not a second-class right. Thomas wrote, "We know no other constitutional right where the individual may exercise only after demonstrating that the government offers some special need. California, Hawaii, Maryland, Massachusetts, New Jersey, and Rhode Island all have laws similar to New York. Those laws are expected to be quickly challenged." And of course, you got the governor, Kathy Hochul of New York, saying the ruling came at a particular painful time with New York mourning the deaths of 10 people in the shooting at Supermarket Buffalo. This decision isn't just reckless, it's reprehensible. It's not what New Yorkers wanted, she said. No, maybe if you actually had people packing heat, they would have put down this monster like the rabbit dog he was and not waited on the cops. I mean, there's another side to it. Maybe if people felt that they were safe arming themselves would made the supermarket a harder target. It made the person think twice. So I think the person made mentions in the manifesto that he chose New York because it was a soft target because they have a hard stance against guns. Gun control groups called the decision a significant setback. Michael Waldman, the president of the Brennan Center for Justice, an expert on the Second Amendment, wrote on Twitter, the decision could be the biggest expansion on gun rights. Anytime that we could expand rights, it's a good thing. I'm kind of interested to see what the Roe versus Wade overturning would be. Now, I'm torn on this one because I understand that abortion kills the baby inside the womb, but the courts deem that's a right that females have. So I'm torn on that one because I don't think abortion should be illegal because we should expand on their rights, not take away rights. As much as it pains me, I gotta stick to my principles on that one and rule in that way, but I have to stick with my principles. Republican lawmakers among those cheering the decision. Tom King, the president of the plaintiff of New York State Rifle and Pistol Association, said he was relieved. And I'm not going to continue on. So, of course, we have. I guess I'm not going to be reading that one. Let's see here. Can I do that? Let's see here. Today, the Supreme Court of the United States issues a decision that will undoubtedly escalate Americans' already skyrocketing levels of gun violence. At the same time, this court has attempted to limit the tools of our city to fight back. You have all the tools in your city. You can continue to fight back, but your DAs choose not to prosecute people. We don't need more gun laws. We just need to enforce the ones that we already have on the books. The court decision in New York versus Bruen allows Americans in all 50 states to publicly carry powerful weapons that were unknown when the Second Amendment was written with a quill pen. Well, you know, technology changes. I understand this argument. This argument has some kernel of merit to it, but at the same time, we should have equal footing with what the government has, because the Second Amendment is not about hunting. It's not about sports shooting. It's about being able to defend ourselves against an attacker or a tyrannical government. While it's not surprising the decision took a shock, it's outrage. The ruling that favors the political power of a few over the democratic desire of the many. It is the result of years in planning by gun lobbyists and millions of dollars in dark money flowing from gun companies. You know, there is a years of planning of the gun control lobbyists trying to take away our rights, limiting our rights, demonizing our rights, demonizing the NRA. So don't give me this crap about a favoring gun lobbyists and dark money, because there's a shit ton more dark money and taking away our rights. Anytime you could expand our rights, it's a good day. This is not progress. This is not justice. It's an affront to the civil society and it's an insult to the will of the people, the majority to whom who wants more limits placed on guns, not fewer. Once again, you have your DAs that have all the same tools. Prosecute these people that commit crimes. Put them on the do not buy list so when they get out of prison or out of jail, they go buy a gun from a legal means, they are denied. And they do it more than once in an arbitrary period of time, you go talk to them saying you can't have a gun. Make sure that you do a search of their premises. Because chances are, if they get denied from a gun store a couple of times, they might go to the black market. That is enforcing the laws. It's not a red flag. It is enforcing the laws we have on the books. Releasing the decision as our country continues to reel from the slaughter of school children in Texas. Our beloved community members in Buffalo makes a mockery of our nation's value. The fact that you're doing this as a emotional counterpoint is an insult to those people. Those people are dying in vain because you're using them as political cannon fodder to take away our rights. And I don't stand for that. It promotes further severing the bonds of social trust that have held the United States together for more than 240 years. I disagree. The more rights we have, the more trust it builds, and the nicer our society may be. And I don't really describe to a armed society as a polite society because there's people that are going to be assholes out there, and you may get someone that's having a bad day. But hopefully, if everybody thinks that everyone's armed, they're less likely to be violent or go off the rails, as they say. The true beneficiary of this rulings are the gun manufacturers and the many merchants of death who profit from branding violence as freedom. Gun violence is big business. Damn right, gun violence is big business. You know what else is big business? War. That's right, war. In case you haven't noticed, Ukraine has a war going on with Russia, and we're sending them billions of dollars to keep that war going. You want to talk about gun violence? They got weapons of war. They got missiles. They got bombs. They got rockets. I don't know if they were sending them tanks yet, but they got Housers. True weapons of war, fully automatic weapons, and we're giving it to Ukraine to continue that gun violence. So, yes, gun violence is big business, especially when it comes to war, and we're just writing a blank check to Ukraine. So, yes, let's get the gun violence under control and get out of Ukraine. You want to talk about big business? The military industrial is the bigger business. Oh, how far does this go? Yeah, that's about as far as I'm going to go. I think I already read this one. Let's see here. Poof, poof. Is this pretty much same D? Yeah. Yeah, that's not going to add anything new. I'm not going to disable my ad blocker for you. Sorry, Fox News. I am not going to go in there, but this is a big win. We needed a big win after some 14 Republicans betrayed us with the new gun laws, or the new gun law that's about to be passed. I wouldn't exactly say betrayed. I think there's certain elements to that bill I agree with. There's 2 points I don't agree with, but it's going to be a different video. Might do that Monday, might do that Tuesday, I don't know. But this is a big win on the eve of new gun laws that are going to be passed on the federal level. We should celebrate this. Our rights have been upheld, and our government is being told they cannot impede, they cannot infringe. And that's what this decision is all about. And I'm pretty sure the other major ruling on abortion is going to come tomorrow. That one's going to get spicy, and there's probably going to be a lot of salt, depending on which way it goes. You're either going to have the conservative salt, or you're going to have the liberal salt. So it's going to be interesting. With that being said, leave a comment down below on what your thoughts are. Are you pro gun or are you pro gun control? I'm kind of interested to know your stance. I am, for one, I'm happy that our rights are being upheld and then being expanded from once they've been taken away. Very rarely do we get rights back once they've been taken away, and I'm glad the Supreme Court ruled this way. I'm also saddened that there's certain monsters in the society that take advantage of such rights and take away life in a manner that we have seen in the last couple of months. That is very saddening. I think there should be a way to address those issues without taking away people's rights. I don't know what that is. That's for smarter people. But leave a comment down below if you're pro gun or pro gun control. Smash the like and subscribe button on any and all platforms or just a platform that you're currently watching. But most importantly, have yourself a wonderful day, morning, or evening.